Hey, konnichiwa, I'm in the sun. It's great. Wakizashi's Teahouse over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you Genki? That's the question. I hope so. Trying to see if it's working on my YouTube channel on my phone, but it doesn't look like it is. So, this is going to be the start of hopefully a new series of late night Wakizashi waffles or early morning, depends where you are. Um, the plan is there is no plan really, but I just want to talk about some of the things that have been going on during the week, some things I want to recommend, just things I want to talk about basically. And I'll also be dropping a book review during the stream, which I'll probably later edit out, release as its own thing. So yeah, well, great to see you in the chat. I couldn't believe it. We had earlier on, we had Awesome One is here, looking good. White Rabbit 33. White Rabbit, follow the White Rabbit. I know, it's a rip-off, right? I can't help it. Matrix ripping off Alice in Wonderland. Nerporio was here earlier. He's out doing his walking down the mean streets. Not quite Hell's Kitchen, I don't think, but hey, Nerporio, if you're out there, if you're still listening, get reading that Frank Miller Daredevil book. Come on, mate, stop putting it off. It's like me with the next Star Trek review, isn't it? Gray saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So it's 1:30 here, later than usual. I usually start at 1 my time, but today's a Japanese national holiday. And do you know what? I'm kind of forgetting what day it is. I think it's Respect the Aged. Respect the Aged Day. Yeah, that's right. Pointing at myself. So please send me some respect in the chat because I am aged. I'm old. I'm an old man. Is Nosferatu here as well? Oh my god, and Copa, just checking. I've had some weird internet issues and my god, there are things to talk about this week. Strange happenings, strange occurrences at the Circle K. Ghosts in the machine, all that kind of thing. But let me get on. We have Mick Cope, who went on a mammoth journey. He took a 24-hour bus, I guess it's a ferry bus ride from Deutschland all the way to Igirisu. I'm not revealing anything. I'm going to Japanese because I suddenly realised I don't want to haze you or anything, Jesus. But I'm glad you had a really good journey. I'm glad everything worked out well. Great news that you could meet up with people, family and friends. So yes, I'm hugely jealous. I wish I could have made it myself. Hopefully one day I'll get over there again. Jana Banana. That's for me, isn't it, Jana? So I'll stop calling you Jana, getting your name wrong. It's like, great, there's a huge hint. There's a huge hint in my name. You pronounce it like banana. Do you know British people say banana, by the way? How do you say banana in Japanese? That's the first question of this Wakizashi waffle. Answers on a postcard to idiot, old man in Japan. Where are we? Nosferatu, how are you doing? Looking tan. It's the light, mate. I'm trying to get me orangey light, make me look a bit oranger because I'm so white, I'm so pale and pasty. Any summer tan I got in Japan is almost gone already. Unbelievable. Okay, Mick, you're awake. It is early, isn't it? I think is it 7:30 or 6:30? Sorry, 6:30 in the morning in Europe. So, ohio gozaimasu. Otsukaresama sama deshita. Copa. Yeah, watch your mouth, Nos. Copa, you got to keep controlling Nos in the chat. Some of my comments aren't going through. Really? Let me have a look on the main page. Now, it's just jumped over to the YouTube studio like you do. And yeah, it's all over the place. No, everything looking good. But you know what, guys and girls out there? Things are changing with YouTube. I think they're implementing some new things to the algorithm, to the system. So there have been glitches in the Matrix. Really have been. Shout out to Mick Cope. I swear to God, I'm going to jump kick Nos into a stack of pillows. The question is, are you doing your Shiko, Copa, and Jana? Nos, get doing your Shiko. We'll do some together later, yeah, when I need to move around a bit. Oh my goodness, what was that? Strange rumble just went past. Speaking of ghosts in the machine, so I'll be getting paranoid soon. Blood Meridian out loud. It's funny you say that, Nos, because I'm planning to do a bit of reading later. A bit of poetry. Oh, you big swatty spaz. Reading poetry. I know, right? I know. But there is a reason for this, and I'll get to it. Great, Nepal, you found me. Nice one. Good to see you. That's cool. Yeah, things are okay. Things are okay at the moment, but I don't even know where to start. And Blair de Blair's here in the chat. Fantastic. As I say, this is a new thing. No movie reviews. No getting crap for reviewing crappy movies. Not anymore. And you know what? That Southpaw movie review I did last week, we had Salty on and Jacob was on, echoing everywhere. It got limited because we talked about things you're not allowed to talk about after the movie review. Isn't that ridiculous? You know what I mean? We said words that you're not allowed to say anymore, apparently. Ridiculous. So, okay, only Gray can complain about YouTube and sound optimistic. Thank you. Oh dear, how long has it been going? 5 minutes? Can I swear yet? Don't blame me. I blame you for everything. No, I blame myself. So do I. How's that go? All over the place. So yeah, let me start off with me Ghost in the Machine story, and it was very, very strange. Thanks, Nos. Grey rules, and so do you. Yeah, if you saw my big game, Mark Miller's Big Game issue 3, if you watched the review till the end, wasn't that long, only 10 minutes. I talk about it at the end of that, but this is where things started going weird this week. One of many stories in my life. I was working on making the comic book review, yeah, so using OBS, just recording, talking nonsense as usual, going through the comic book. I might have been editing it at that point. Anyway, I don't know why, but an email popped up. It just caught my eye. It's like copyright claims for your latest video. And I looked at it and it was talking about one of my old Wakizashi radio live streams, where I like to try and play music before YouTube and the music companies nuked me from orbit. And there was only 4 videos on that channel. I've not used that channel for quite a while. We're talking, I don't know when it was, maybe it was spring. I think the videos they're all blocked. Anyway, you can't see them in, it's like you can't see this video in certain territories. Anyway, it doesn't matter now because I've had to delete them. What happened was, this video from the Wakizashi radio channel, which is a separate channel, as I said, it's dormant, it's been asleep for a while. It was uploaded onto my main channel, onto this, before I dropped the big game review. So it showed my, my content page, and it was like Amazing Spider-Man, Wakizashi Radio, episode 4, and of course already copyright claims on it. So I was like, wait a minute, I didn't upload this. What's going on? Started freaking out. Checked I wasn't asleep, gone into one of my weird paranoid dreams. But no, I was awake. And yeah, so I didn't really panic. What I did was I went into it. It already had 1 view and, it only been, I don't even know how long it had been live. Maybe it had been on for an hour or 2 or something. Made it private and then went onto Twitter just asking for Team YouTube for help. What a fool, right? Yeah, what a crazy fool. As if that's going to do anything. But I got a generic response which hadn't read my message, just said, oh, if you've got a problem with the copyright claim, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. I didn't upload this, but it's appearing on my main channel. How can this happen? Can this happen? Is it a glitch in YouTube? Or, has somebody hacked my account? God knows why they'd do that. Me? You're talking about me, yeah? And why would they upload that and not Noz's favourite video, 2 Girls, 1 Cup? They could have uploaded that on my channel if they'd hacked it. But yeah, it's just so weird. So I took that down and then I thought, I don't know what to do. Do I delete it or not? I better delete it off the main channel, Did that, deleted it, it disappeared. And I went to the Wakizashi Radio channel, deleted the videos off there, which, as I say, weren't even showing. Can anyone explain that story? And sorry for waffling on. So there we go. Where are we? You guys in the chat, you're all talking about completely different things, aren't you? It's like, that's right. Everybody just ignore Gray. Let me see. Show or hide, Copa. This message is held for review. Oh, it says another moderator just handled it. See, I've got the live chat on my phone because I can't see at the same time. I can't multitask. But wasn't that weird? Has that ever happened to you? Salty, Zaxx, Copa? Anyone out there who's got a channel? If you have a second channel, I don't know. I've actually got 3 channels. I've got that Wakizashi Radio, which I just kept to do, play music on because it gets killed, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything, it's not my main channel. And I've got a Wakizashi Live, which I was going to originally put my live streams, do what Copa's been doing. And what I've heard is supposed to be better, but I don't care anymore. Take it off your main channel, put it on a separate channel, Does it make a difference? I don't know. Anything that I've got on the live stream, on the live channel, if it's not getting views for a month or say 6 weeks, I usually unlist it unless it's something that kind of ticks over, as you say, evergreen content. Wakizashi radio, rip. It was so weird, Nerdporial. Yeah, it just came like, so it looked like, to YouTube, it looked like I'd taken that video, which I don't even have. I think I've deleted that video on my, my hard drive. I don't have a copy of it. It was just a chill out live stream playing music. Somehow that was uploaded onto the Wakizashi Teahouse, the comic book review channel. Bloody weird. Watch 1 minute of the Amazon show and make Liberace look like Conan. What? Says Copa. Thanks, Copa. Sounds like a ghosty Jana. Yeah, thanks for replying, because I say, it was so weird. Parasite hit 2-3 old videos for no reason. Okay, is that what it was, Salty? Yeah. But I mean, how can that happen? How can a separate channel, a video off that, get uploaded on your main channel? How bizarre, as we say. My favourite Wakizashi memory moment was Drunk Grey singing The Vapors. Turn in Japanese. I know, that was a long time ago. I think, was that the celebrating 20 years in Japan? Or was it just a random, hey, it's Friday night and Grey got drunk? I think people were dropping super chats to make me sing more because I was hammered. Oh dear. I still have that video, by the way. It's unlisted. If you really want to see it, I can send you the link, but who wants to see that? It's ridiculous. Evergreen content. I may know someone, says Nerdporial. Nerdporial does some great evergreen content on his channel. Check out his reviews of classic movies like Dodie Harry, things like that. Forbidden Planet. What else is there? Thanks to all the people in my members only channel, by the way. Jaina, what are you not telling me? How dare you? I'm going to be careful highlighting these these comments. Zach, what are you saying there? How did Mike get in this pic? Oh, I don't know. Chinko, oh my god, what's going on there? So, where are we? What should I do? Should I drop something? Oh yeah, and guess what? Bad news, Nos. Bad news, my Willem Dafoe. To ye, me beauty clip. That got claimed in the last, because I played it in the last live stream. I think that was the Southpaw live stream too. It's like 14 seconds long, and because there was a tiny bit of music, it got claimed. Yeah, what a joke. It's a joke. So speaking of that, let's invite YouTube or music companies to claim everything I've got. Let's have a bit of Akira. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, that was my Ghost in the Machine story. How bizarre. Next, what we're going to do is read a quick book review. So, I will get back to you in the chat. Don't worry. Just bear with me while I do a bit of self-promotion, baby. Do you know, I've got a WordPress blog review site. Started it around 2015. Did a couple of beer reviews, then lost interest for a while, came back and started doing book reviews, and it all began with Halloween, do like a monthly Halloween update, reading, what was it, I'd have a look, I can't remember the name, Richard Matheson, one of his horror novels. It was a haunted house story. The names escape me at the moment. It wasn't very good. It was kind of quite sexy though. I quite like the sexy racy scenes. Then I went on to doing a year of reviewing PKD, Philip K. Dick. Oh yeah, I love saying that name. Philip K. Dick, and we were doing, with a couple of blogger friends, we did a 12-month review, 12 of his novels each, so one each month, plus at the same time reading the exegesis of Philip K. Dick, which was a crazy book. Self-promotion, there's a review on my channel, by the way. Exegesis, I think that's how you pronounce it. So what I'm going to do is oh thanks Blair, you got it. Hell House, that was the one. It's not bad. It's not a bad book, it's to start, and I did it for a Halloween thing anyway. So is there a movie made of it? Legend of Hell House. I'll have to look for that. Thank you, and cheers, by the way. Time for a sup of Mugi Cha. It's not alcoholic, Nosferatu, I'm afraid. It's just tea. Look at this lovely cup. I think this is one of Mrs. Wakizashi's. Which, fine bone china, made in England. It's not Wedgwood, it's Dunoon. Dunoon, how cool is that? I think it was Mrs. Wakizashi's mother. One trip when they came to the UK, then she bought it in an antique shop in Ramsbottom. I'm not making that name up, by the way. There is a There is really a village or a town called Ramsbottom, and it's fantastic. That's the one, Coper. Twin ceramic rotor drives on each wheel. Look, these look like computer-controlled anti-lock brakes. Wow, 200 horses at 12,000 revs per minute. Fantastic. Gray's beer reviews. Today I drank 18 cans of kamikaze and pissed soy sauce for an hour. How do you know what I was doing last night, Salty? Are you crazy? Blair is the real MVP, says Jana. Hail Dwayne as well, great to see you. Looking good. Looking fantastic. Okay, while I get this book review ready, because I'm going to share my screen, let's drop the only Lighthouse clip I have left.
You're fond of me lobster, ain't you?
Drunken in a Virginia fence.
I seen it. You're fond of me lobster.
By the way, am I talking too fast? Do let me know. I'm kind of all over the place. I've actually got a decent signal. I was panicking before because since I've plugged into the Ethernet, which is supposed to make everything better, I keep getting the low bandwidth signal from StreamYard, but I think it's StreamYard. Here we go. Share screen. Time to start roboting. Are you ready, everybody? Should we do it together? Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. So, I will get back to you in the chat very soon. Just let me do this. It's only a short review. Don't panic. I think this is the first one I did after January, after starting. So, yeah, this is February 2016. Good grief. That's like 7 years ago now, isn't it? So this is when I started the blog properly. You know, I say before that there was just a bit of nonsense and waffling on it. This is Radio Free Albemuth, 1976 by Philip K. Dick, PKD. Here's a brief quote from the beginning of the book. As his eyes adjusted to the gloom, he saw the floating patches of colour, but they were receding from him faster and faster as his thoughts, manic, the psychiatrist had said, matched their velocity. They're escaping, he thought, and so is my head. My mind is going along with them. There is no fear, you are receding. Anyway, Radio Free Albemuth was written in 1976 and published posthumously in 1985. It has been suggested that this was only a first draft when PKD abandoned, which he abandoned before going on to write Valis. Have you heard of Valis? That was published in 1981. He wrote it between A Scanner Darkly, one of my favourite Philip K. Dick books, really good, and there's a weird kind of rotoscope movie version, isn't it, with Keanu Reeves. So he wrote it between A Scanner Darkly and Valis during what is referred to as his mature period. It's a short novel, one which I found easy to read. I enjoyed its simple autobiographical style and fairly simple plot, especially after the bizarre reading experience of Ubik. That's right. In January, I reviewed Ubik, the first one on the blog. I'm not reading that because I tried to do a bit of a jokey, funny review of swapping the roles of the reader and Philip K. Dick. And anyway, maybe one day I'll do a video of it. So back to Radio Free Albemuth. The story focuses on the friendship of two men, Nicholas Brady, a record store clerk, and Philip K. Dick, a science fiction writer. Now, this often happened with his books. He didn't always insert himself into them, you know, not as with his name, but he used to change names of some of the characters, so you got an idea that, you know, he was putting himself in his books. And he often talks about this in interviews, and he wrote about it in his exegesis, that sometimes he felt like his books were becoming like real, like non-fiction. You know, the books he was writing were actually events that he wrote about in his books were happening to him in real life. Now, again, this could be, you know, due to years of, amphetamine, not abuse, but, well, I guess you'd call it abuse, don't you? He was taking speed a lot, you know, and he was putting out so much, like writing so much content. He was writing ridiculous amounts of short stories as well as like novels each year, you know, unbelievable, because he was basically broke, you know, trying to make any kind of money. He got a lot more of his success and fame after he'd passed away, unfortunately, you know, maybe the later years of his life. One of those classic stories is that he got to see an early cut of Blade Runner, didn't he? Ridley Scott's film, before it was released. Unfortunately, he died. He passed away before it got the proper release. But maybe that was serendipitous timing, because it wasn't received well, was it, at the time? And now look at it. But oh my God, I'm waffling. Let's get back to it. So the story focuses on the friendship of two men, Nicholas Brady, a record store clerk, and Philip K. Dick, a science fiction writer. It's set in an alternate America in which the newly elected president, Ferris F. Fremont, seems intent on creating a totalitarian regime. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Probably not. Against a background of paranoia and conspiracies, a resistant movement is born with the aid of a supernatural entity which Nicholas calls Valis. This entity appears to offer guidance to Brady, but is Valis real or just a creation of Nicholas's mind? Here's another quote. Someone approached me, far off, beyond the dry messes. Invisible presence, shining with love. It was Valis. I recognized his being. He was familiar. The concern, the understanding, the desire to help. Sounds like Nosferatu. I'm not sure why, but I've struggled to write this review. I enjoyed reading this book, but it didn't leave as much as an impression on me as Ubik did. And I gotta say, you know, with hindsight now, all these years later, Ubik is a classic. This is not. It's okay. It was interesting how Dick used the character of Nicholas Brady to address some of the mystical experiences which he believed actually happened to him between March and May of 1974. The author goes into great detail about these experiences in the exegesis of PKD, and there are interviews available on the internet about them too. I would only recommend this book to fans of Philip K. Dick. As I've already said, I enjoyed it. The science fiction writer Michael Bishop called it good enough to stand in the top 10 or 12 PKD sci-fi novels. I think that quote gives you a good idea of the quality of this book when compared with Dick's more famous works. It isn't for everyone. Nice cover, the French edition there, look at that. With an inverted pyramid with an eye peeping out of it. And I thought I put a couple of quotes from it. No. There's a couple of interesting comments here, but where are we? This is a comment by Richard who says, Larry Sutin, in his biography of Dick called Divine Invasions, states that Philip K. Dick's editor at Bantam, Mark Hurst, asked for a minor rewrite of Radio Free Albemuth, this book, but he left this one at home and wrote Valis instead. So there you go, you've got people saying that maybe it's a precursor to Valis. It was rather bland and undervisualised and certainly needed a rewrite, but the reinvented novel was a much more intense and difficult work. I think that reflected the changes that his strange experiences had exerted on him since writing Radio Free Albemuth. His output, considering it was fairly prolific, was of a surprisingly good standard, highly variable and unusual, but even he had never written a novel quite like Valis. Radio Free Albemuth was the first novel he wrote since A Scanner Darkly. And by the way, if you're still listening out there, do check out this book, A Scanner Darkly. It's really good. It's pretty dark. It's dark, but it's a good one. That marked the end of an era in his writing career, says this commentator. He was on a different track. Valis was more visually brilliant, but Radio Free Albemuth still has the clear-headed insight and concise prose of his earlier stuff. Both have their faults. This book could have been quite a fine novel if it hadn't been so strangely transformed. Where are we? Let me scroll down. There's something about, I think there may be a movie. There's an independent, or maybe a kickstarted movie about Radio Free Albemuth, which somebody talks about here. Okay. This is by someone called John Allen Simon, who says, by the way, anyone wanting to discuss this movie, the movie or the book, can always reach me through the Radio Free Albemuth movie page on Facebook. I don't know if that's still there, but this guy commentating, I think he put together that independent movie. Okay, back to you, if anyone's still out there. My goodness. Goodness gracious me. What have I missed? Absolutely everything. Hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit of a Wakizashi waffle book review, but yeah, Radio Free Albemuth, not his finest book, not his finest work, but nice, easy to read. I found it. I enjoyed it. So there we go. That's that. Harry. Oh no way, Salty! Really? I thought maybe you had YouTube Premium like I do, so I don't have ads. I don't see ads. It's the first time I've done it. YouTube are actually as far as I can see, I think you've still got the option to, you can turn off monetization, but they're taking more of the control out of your hands from what I've read. They're going to make it kind of standard that you can limit the number of ads that appear in the middle of a stream to like very, very, few. There's like, what do you call it? Low level, medium or high. But I think that they're removing the option to actually turn that off unless you just switch off monetization completely, you know what I mean? Which means you can't get memberships or super chats anymore. No way, it actually worked. That's crazy. What was the ad for? How weird would it be if it was an ad for like a Philip K. Dick book, or what was I talking about before? There's an old Hellblazer story called Ghosts in the Machines, by the way, by Jamie Delano, when the John Constantine Hellblazer, the original run, started. It's one of the earliest stories. It's really good, really weird. I got an ad midstream. Gray's hitting the big time. Yeah, yeah, right. What for like 5 cents, which is what I'll probably get after if I break 100 views these days. I'm lucky on my live streams. Not that I'm complaining. The comic book reviews doing quite well. I got a bit of a boost recently with the Amazing Spider-Man last issue and the Big Game issue 3, which, believe it or not, and I'll get down off my high horse in a minute, Mark Miller, the writer, he actually shouted me out on Twitter, retweeted my tweet, but that tweet got like lots of views. Yeah, it got over 1,000 views, but the interaction was like 0. Nobody, as far as I know, nobody, or maybe one person if I was lucky, no one actually clicked the link that he'd shared at the video. So anyway, I think what it is, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that there's and fairly new to me, there's a new comic book review site that's not long appeared. I usually always used Comic Book Roundup, but this is a new one, and it actually features some of my reviews. I couldn't believe it. So since then, I've been getting a few more hits on my WordPress page, my blog page. I don't know if that's going to lead to video views or not, because I do usually put the video at the end of the comic book review, the written reviews. Speaking of that, let me show. Oh, I got an ad for a handsome British fella. You're talking about me? Jaina, have I told you how much I love you? Remember, just keep it quiet from Copa, okay? We'll be all right. We'll be okay. Okay, you barely get interaction from Twitter for YouTube. Try talking about Dick more. Copa, what you reckon on Twitter, on X? I've also heard rumours that that's going to be being very limited soon, isn't it? You're going to have to pay for it. Is that right? If you want to have an account even. But we'll see. Hey, Flaccid Phoenix, what are you doing in the house? In the Waffle House or is it the Teahouse? Great to see you, mate. That's awesome. Fantastic. And yeah, shout out to Big Game from Dwayne Muth. Fantastic. Such a good comic book. If you haven't watched my latest review, it's probably one of the most positive, Genki, wow, this is amazing that I've done in a while, even though this was right after I'd had that weird Ghost in the Machine moment, with a video being uploaded by some mysterious force on my page, on my channel, sorry. Yeah, because I don't know if you know, the way I make the comic book reviews is I'll film, using OBS. I screen grab and capture the story part first, then I'll edit that, get that uploaded, not onto YouTube, just make it into a concise video of the story part. When I go, please watch my story summary, here we go, that's it. Then I do the outro, saying thanks for watching, and then I'll do the intro after that. So I've got the story, now freshly in my mind, even though I've read the comic beforehand. Making the video and editing it makes me remember things, or maybe I'll get to point out things I missed in my review. So yeah, so that was the final thing. So long story short, I got the copyright warning email, which alerted me to this weird Ghost in the Machine moment when I was just about to record the opening of that. Hi everyone, this is great, Wakizashi Teahouse. I'm a bit stressed because that was it. So yeah, but still very Genki. Where are we? Gray's reviews are great. This book was. Thanks, Nos. Where are we? That's the most excited anyone's ever been to see Flaccid. It's true, Zaxx. It's true, says Flaccid. Isn't it? What's wrong with me? I don't know. I'm just a nice guy. Can't help it. It's always the quiet ones. You've got to be careful. Watch I'm usually perfectly fine until I get some whiskey in me or some bourbon, and then you got to watch out. Jesus Christ. Issue 3, the last page, Dwayne. What a cliffhanger. What a cracker. The whole issue, it blew me away. I'm not just saying it. I'm not shilling. I give honest reviews. I had a total blast. I think that's the best comic I've read this year. The best single issue. Seriously, it was absolutely brilliant. So much going on. And it looks like Kick-Ass is back in that issue too, even though we don't see much of him. Where are we? What was I talking about? What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to share this, wasn't I? So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Comics Scored. Am I coming through okay? Comics Scored is the webpage, and it collects only supposedly critics' reviews. So I couldn't believe it when I found myself on there. I was like, wow, whoever's put this together, and there's no info about who's doing this site. God, I'm speaking so quickly, aren't I? I'm sorry. Slow down. Breathe, Graham. Breathe. Breathe, Gray. Yeah, they must have found my review site. I don't know how, because I've got a blog, you know. I might have had it for 7 years, but I don't get many views. Seriously. What's the average? I get about 200 a week. That's all. It's not much. It's not much. If I'm lucky, I'll get 1,000 hits on the site in a month, and you know it's going back 7 years. So come on, that's not much. Where are we? Let's do it. Where are we? Big game. Here we go. So you click on it, yeah. It gives you the average score. It's 91 out of 100 based on 6 critic ratings. You go down, you've got Comic Con, Lyle's Movie Files. These guys, they're always on the main, you know, review sites, and they always give like high scores. Then you got something called Wakizashi's Reviews. What's this? Look at this. Big Game 3 is close to being a perfect comic book. The writing, pacing, characters, art and colouring are all pretty much flawless. It's so refreshing to get caught up in such an exciting story and feel genuine stakes for the characters and their actions. I rarely hand out 10s, but this comic merits the highest score. If you're not reading this series, you should be. Now, I rate things out of 10, but this site is, you know, puts it into the hundreds to 100, so it's also 94. From Superpowered Fancast, Comical Opinions, big shout out to him, it's Gabe. He gave it 9 out of 10, 90. And then 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser's here. Now, there's no text. That means this is a link to the video, because he dropped a video with Eric O'Sullivan. Shout out to Sully, the Sultan of Soup. You like my plosive P's there. So that was it. That was the site. Comics Scored. Whoever put this together, thank you very much. I can't believe it. You know, I only drop a couple of written reviews, usually 1 a week. I did 2 this week because I'd found out, like, wow, Gray's in the big time now, everybody. It's the big time for me. There's no stopping me. Don't stop me now. My head's inflating, it's getting bigger. Soon I won't be able to get out of this room. I'll be like, oh my God, my head, it's so huge. I can't get out the door. Usually in Japan, by the way, I have to bow before I go through any doorway because, you know, they're so low. True story. A bit hunched over there. Okay, where are we? Let's get back to the fantastic chat. Unbelievable, the people still watching me. Thank you, I appreciate it. Gray, take 2 shots. Okay, it's mugicha, which is barley tea in Japan. It's a popular drink. Iced mugicha. Someone deliver Gray a liquor. Copa saying, Zaxx, it almost seems sincere. Gray's good. I could have been an actor. I could have been somebody. Copa. Could have been a contender. It's been so happy to see Flaccid. There we go. Where are we? Okay, is that my review? Is that what you're saying, Nosferatu? A chick had big boobies, 10 out of 10, Wakizashi. Yeah, you know me too well, don't you? Boo this man, says Jaina. So Japan is Jaina-sized, yeah. It's more the older houses, not really that old, because like my parents-in-law, Mrs. Wakizashi's parents, their house is like, how old is it? About maybe 40 years, 40 plus years, and what do you call it, where the doorways, you know, between the rooms, I literally have to duck, and I'm not that tall. I'm 6'3". Not as tall as Salty. Who is? No one's as tall as Salty. Raging Grey. on the Wakizashi front. Thanks. I don't know why. I think that seemed to have lost a lot of people. Is that because I did that Philip K. Dick book review? So sorry. But seriously, great to see you all in the chat. Absolutely awesome. Shout out to the chat. There we go. How we're doing. Going to the YouTube studio page and it's like 30 minutes behind the video. What does that even mean? It's like it's miles away or it's ages ago. Who shows feet? Is that Jana saying that? Jana, do you show feet on streams? Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. Okay, I do have another recommend, and this is going to tie into the reading I was talking about, but just bear with me 1 second. Oh my God. It says my daughter. I got a line from Mrs. W saying, your daughter's watching you. For once in your life, Graham. Your daughter's watching your live stream. I better be careful what I say. Oh my goodness. Something got really hot. What do? Do I show this one? No, I've got to be careful with my clips now.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
To take you on a strange journey. Yeah, that's awesome. Shout out to I'm not going to name names, but I think everyone knows the name. But we'll just say Gray's daughter. Should I make up a name? Let's think. Jesus, my brain's gone. My brain's dead. My brain has gone dead. Hey, Mini Wakizashi. Hey, she's not that mini. She's up to my shoulders, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, tall. She's up to here, which is I don't know how much that is in feet and inches. Standing up, so. We're midstream. It's time for some Shiko. Don't worry, nothing crazy. Let's see how I can do. I've not been practicing. I did some on what night is it? I know it's Friday night in the States, but I did some on Thursday night my time, Japan time, and it's Saturday afternoon here. I'm still feeling it, mate. Only did 3 sets of 20. So here we go. Check out my form. Tell me if it's good. Now I have to squat down a bit. See my head. Who wants to see that? Wait a minute. Where are we? Okay. So you're supposed to put your leg up and like come out like this, but I can't. I can get that high, then come down and squat. Now it looks like I'm sitting down, doesn't it? But I'm not. I swear, I'm in the horse stance. And then come up here, this side. Can't do it. That's it. That's 2. Is that 1 or 2? Does that count as 1 or 2? No, I'm not sure. Come down again, hold it. Get this one high. I used to be so much more flexible when I was doing jiu-jitsu regular, but I can't do jiu-jitsu. I've not been doing it lately. I know, right? One more. Here we go. 1, squat, hold it. 2, that's it. That's the best I can do. When you see the sumo guys, the legs coming like right up here. It's amazing. Like straight as well. They're just showing off. They extend like that, don't they? So cool. So cool. When does the leg slap come in, says Jada. Yeah, I love it when they do that, when they're psyching themselves up before they go into the fight, they're warming up, they do that, and they're tossing the salt. Be careful what you say, Graham, be careful you say that. Toss the salt, purify it. Some of them take a quick taste of the salt, boom. Make them wake up, like mega sameru, we say in Japanese. It opens your eyes, eye-opening. And then they're like, boom, whapping the belly, the belt, the chest, rub the face. Come on, it's great. Nosferatu, let's do some watching later. It's on at the moment, but it's still the early wrestlers. It's the what do you call it? The not so high ranked ones. It gets interesting from like 3 p.m. Japanese time, which is still 50 minutes away. Now, not quite an hour. Between 3 and 6, the best wrestlers. But I know it's really late for you guys, isn't it? It's like Japanese time 5 till 6 is the best time for the sumo. It's the best wrestlers, but you always get good bouts. And what time will that be? 5 p.m. Japanese time is 4 a.m. Eastern, so 3 a.m. Central, yeah? 2 a.m. Pacific, is that right? Or 1? Crazy, I know. Crazy. Mate, I'll be there. Awesome, Nos. We got to do it. Beware the gassy sumo. Dwayne. You do, don't you? You got to be careful. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. Okay, right. Where was I? What was I going to talk about? Want to share screen. So to set this up, Have you seen the movie The Green Knight? I've not seen it yet. Have you read any of the poems? Or I think there's a J.R.R. Tolkien translation, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is it's an edition by, well, a translation by Simon Armitage, who's a Northern English poet. Pretty cool as well. He used to be in a band. He's written a few books. He's done. I think he might even be the poet laureate now in England. But this was 2007. He brought out his version. And we say translation. It's in Middle English. I've actually read the original, believe it or not. Ooh, listen to me. Because I was studying it for uni when I was doing my distance learning degree over in Japan. There you go. I did it. Prove you can do that. Took me 5 years though. I did like the what was the one of the things called the course. It was an English literature and language degree, but one of the, what do you call them? The units was, oh God, I can't forgetting it. Yeah, like basically Middle English, Renaissance. No, not before Renaissance. Middle English. So Sir Gawain and the Green Knight was one of the texts to study, and man, the original is hard, but it's beautifully written. It's sibilant. Is it sibilant when it has the same sounds? Grey, you gargantuan godlike Goliath, like all the G's, or salty, you sneaky, surreptitious, smarmy psychopath. Same sound of the letters, the sibilants. So it works even if you can't understand it. Anyway, this is the 2007 version by Simon Armitage. Let me just read very briefly from this. I know I'm going to scare you all away now. This is not the poetry. I'm going to give you a bit of an intro because I want to shout out a video which is hard to find. It used to be on YouTube. I looked for it last night. I couldn't find it. I found it on Dailymotion. And it's basically this poet, Simon Armitage, talking about this poem, and he does a tour of the UK. Some beautiful nature scenes in it, and also the soundtrack. The soundtrack, salty, nice, everyone. It's amazing, like indie, old British indie songs. There's all sorts on it. There's like The Cure's on there, Mercury Rev, the American band. Crazy tracks. Just watch it for the soundtrack. Even though, you might find him annoying. He's a bit like, the way he talks, like me. Anyway, I digress. Where are we? He says in the introduction, we know next to nothing about the author of this poem, which has come to be called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. It was probably written around 1400. 1400. I don't know how they can date it, but I'm stupid. In the early 17th century, the manuscript was recorded as belonging to a Yorkshireman, Henry Savile of Bank. What a great name. Hello, I'm Henry Savile of Bank. It was later acquired by Sir Robert Cotton, whose collection also included the Lindisfarne Gospels and the only surviving manuscript of Beowulf. Imagine having that. Imagine owning the only surviving manuscript, Beowulf. Anyway, the poem lay dormant for over 200 years. It did not come to light until Queen Victoria was on the throne. Wow. Thus leapfrogging the attentions of some of our greatest writers and critics. Okay. The manuscript, very small, an unprepossessing thing, it would fit comfortably into an average-sized hand. Apparently the original manuscript. There's no author's name on it, of course. There's not even a title. It's just become known as Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. So yeah, this is leading to this. So let me try and share my screen. I found it on this video on Dailymotion. It's the only version I could find. Is it still there? Okay, it's not showing. Let's see what happens. It was on BBC 4. I think it was 2010 or 2009, 2010. It came out originally. It used to be on YouTube for free. Where are we? I better turn the sound off. I don't want to get hit because the music is amazing. Just show you a little bit of the... I mean, it's bad quality. That's the highest definition. Beautiful. There he is, Simon Armitage. So he does his version of it, and he makes it, readable for a modern reader. For example, just let me read a little bit. A little bit here. It was Christmas at Camelot, King Arthur's court, where the great and the good of the land had gathered, all the righteous lords of the ranks of the Round Table, quite properly carousing and revelling in pleasure. Time after time, in tournaments of joust, they had lunged at each other with levelled lances, then returned to the castle to carry on their carolling. For the feasting lasted a full fortnight and 1 day, with more food and drink than a fellow could dream of. The hubbub of their humour was heavenly to hear, pleasant dialogue by day and dancing after dusk. So the house and its hall were lit with happiness. The lords and ladies were luminous with joy. Such a coming together of the gracious and the glad, the most chivalrous and courteous knights known in Christendom, the most wonderful women to have walked in this world, the handsomest king to be crowned at court, fine folk with their futures before them there in that hall. The highly honoured king was happiest of all. No nobler knights had come within a castle's wall. There you go. Let's get back. Where are we? Look at me, I'm all over the place. My mic completely blocks my my vision. So there we go. Just want to shout that out. If you're still there, let's see. There's like one person watching now. I've lost everybody. But yeah, it's really good. This is a lovely version. There's so many versions you can get. As I say, there's a Tolkien version which I've not read. Probably awesome. But I like this author's version because it's, you know, he's made it kind of modern sounding as well, but he's kept the sibilance, he's kept the, it's not rhyming, it's the same sound, you know, in each of the sentences. So cool. And it's a great scene where the Green Knight, you know, appears to interrupt their Christmas dinner or Christmas lunch. And it's not that he's dressed in green, he's glowing, he's all green, his hair, his beard, his face, his skin, what he's wearing. And he doesn't have a helmet, he doesn't have a sword, he has a sprig of holly in one hand and a huge axe in the other. And what does he do, if you know the story? He invites anybody at King Arthur's court to take the axe and cut off his head, as long as they don't mind 1 year later that he returns the favour. That's it. Okay, back to you guys in the chat. Sorry, I'm all over the place, I know. Hey Dempsey, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in. BBC 4 sounds naughty. Really? I don't even know if it's still going, you know, and I don't know if you can access iPlayer. I checked on, what was it? It came up on something and it said this broadcast is no longer available. So there must be a way of watching it, but I tell you, it's about an hour long, but it's worth it for the music, the soundtrack. You know, some of the tracks on there, I don't even know half the names, but it's really good. It surprised you. It's not all like medieval style music. It's, you know, it's dark, it's electronic, it's weird. You got The Cure, The Forest playing, if you know that track, the early version of that track. Mercury Rev with some weird tracks there. Yeah. Zaxx, you didn't watch the new Green Knight because I already saw Slumdog Millionaire. Is that meant to be a joke, Zaxx? Is that meant to be funny? Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I've heard mixed things about it. I thought Salty would have watched it for sure, but let me just scroll back up the chat. Maybe I've missed you talking about it. That's right. I was asking, Gray, have you seen the RoboCop edit where he shoots a certain area on his target? I don't know. I saw the original version, of course, and there's a great scene where he stops that woman being attacked by shooting basically through her dress, doesn't he? And hits the guy right in the crotch. Jesus. Dude, send me the link to that. Okay, we'll do later, Salty. No worries. I'll send it. Say it's a random Daily Motion. If I just find it on Daily Motion. You saw the Sean Connery version from the 80s, Blair. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't even know there was another one, but yeah. Gray's Percy from the Green Mile. What are you saying, Nosferatu? Hey, Low Spec in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Shout out to Low Spec. Seeing as you're here, I've got to drop something Japanese based, but I don't have that much. I've only got some random clips of Akira, I'm afraid. This one goes out to you, Low Spec. Good to see you. Appreciate it. Kobe saying, Gray, watch the extended cut of RoboCop where he shoots everybody's todger off. Really? I can never tell if you're taking the mickey, you know, you're all like joking. I believe people, you know, when I think you're all being sincere in the chat. I believe everything you write and say. You do know that about me, don't you? Don't break my heart. Don't give me trust issues, Copa, Nosferatu. What are you doing? The actor who plays Raj from The Big Bang Theory, his wife, Neha Kapoor, is smoking hot. Is he in The Green Knight? Because I know it has a very, what's the word these days? A multicultural, because I don't like using the D word. Diverse. Multicultural cast, isn't it? As far as I know. Send it to Grey. It's damn good. I'm not getting ads to Salty. Oh, sorry. I'm not getting ads, says Jaina, to Salty. Really? I know it's on the lowest level, Jaina. It should only I think if you go over 30 minutes, it might drop one. And then if you go over an hour, it might drop another one. I don't know how it works. I've got it on the lowest level. Until now, I've never done that. I thought I'll try it for one video. Not that it's going to get a lot of views, but see if it makes any difference. You know, instead of making 3 cents, I might make 5. I might get 5 cents. I'm not being sarcastic as well. I mean it. You know, I might get 5 cents. Imagine getting 50 cents. Shout out to 50 Cent. Ooh, he was in Southpaw, which I reviewed last week, and Salty killed me for it. DM'd me. Oh, thank you very much. Awesome, you star. You DM'd it to me. That's awesome. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay, where were we? I wasn't going to go on too long. I was just just waffling away, but I wanted to share that awesome video. If you get a chance to watch it, you know, you might be like, come on, Gray, who's got time for poetry? What are you talking about? Watch it for the nature, the landscapes, even though I wish it was HD and it's not, the version on Dailymotion. Watch it for, you know, his enthusiasm about this poem, and the way he tells or retells a story. He takes you through the locations that it was supposedly set in. You know, it's a northern poem, very, very famous. Even more famous because they don't know who wrote it. You know, think about that. That's so cool, isn't it? Okay, I will check it out, definitely. Gray loves 50 Cent. He's popping bottles in the club. Salty, good night. Good health. God bless you, mate. You take care. Have a good one. Yes, and Zaxx, how you doing? Okay, I've been going 50 minutes. Zaxx, if you want a link, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to waffle on for a bit more. I can drop you a link, but there's no review this week. It's just it's a new series of Wakizashi Waffles where I talk about nonsense and recommend things. But yeah, wasn't that weird about the Ghost in the Machine story? So strange. You take care, Jaina. I miss you already. Thanks for watching, and thank you for your amazing interaction in the comments. That's been brilliant. Zaxx, send the link to Tim. Which one? Oh, you mean the StreamYard? I've not sent any link yet. No way. Isn't Tim meant to be streaming later? He was putting a poll up, wasn't he, for you guys? Be kind. Be nice. If you can't be kind, be careful. Oops, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I nearly hit end stream then, like a complete boomer. Sword of the Valiant, 1984, says Blair to Blair, with Sean O'Connery and Miles O'Keefe. That's the Sir Gawain and the Green Knight story, is it? Awesome. Gawain does appear in Excalibur, my favourite King Arthur movie, the John Borman Excalibur, but the Green Knight doesn't. It's a shame. And Gawain, I think he's got an Irish accent as well. It's interesting, just like King Arthur. I'm sorry, father. I didn't mean to pull the sword out the stone. I'm sorry about that. It's terrible, my Irish accent. Come on down to Scruffy Murphy's. Yeah, it's so funny. Nigel Terry. I mean, he's awesome in the movie as Arthur. And the way they seem to age him up during the film is really well done. Back in those days. The happy days. The good old days before CG and Uncanny Valley. Jaina, go to bed. Nope, says Jaina. Jaina, go hit the monkey bump. Ah, Jesus, you want to drop that clip again, don't you? Nata, how you doing, mate? Ultimate Spider-Man Reader. I've heard that it's going to be rebooted, and Jonathan Hickman is writing with art by, it's either Marco, I always thought it was Marco Cicchetto, but somebody in one of my comments said it's pronounced Cicetto, so I don't know which is right, but imagine Marco doing the art for Spider-Man. I don't know if it's going to be a Peter Parker or a Miles Spider-Man, because it's Ultimate, yeah? Ultimate Spider-Man. I hope it's Peter Parker. Looking forward to it, mate. Hoping it's going to be good. Is it too late, though? Is it too little too late for Marvel? So, where are we going? Where are we? Yeah, that was about it. Let's see. Where's Zaxx? Copy. So, Zaxx, if you're still out there, if you're interested, we can pop in for a quick chat. If you've got anything to shout out or talk about, link me saying, yes, here we go. Please don't send the link to Tim. Whatever you do. Copa sent a link. Nice one, Copa. That's cool, man. Robocop remake, scene 27 in Robocop Explosion. That sounds awesome. Fantastic. Okay, let me get back to the stream. Where are we? Yeah, people are hoping it's Peter Parker, but we'll see, won't we? We'll see what happens. Look, I don't mind, mate, as long as it's a good story. I don't mind who it is, but I want to see Peter Parker as Spider-Man being written well for a change. Don't you? The most fun I had recently was that last issue, which was where Peter just going full on crazy and like taking revenge on people because he's been infected by the Green Goblin, with the Green Goblin serum. Zaxx, fulfill your destiny, says Nosferatu. I am your density. Name the movie. Drop it in the chat. Love that movie. God, it's so good. I even love part 2. Maybe even more. Even though it's dark, part 2 is great. Wasn't the biggest fan of part 3 with the Western. And the Western setting is pretty good, but I don't know. I think the train and all that, I don't know. It was all right. We're hoping it's Peter Parker, but poor Peter Parker will have to see. There we go. Yes, you got it, Dwayne. I've seen you in the YouTube stream. I was always behind. Back to the Future is the right answer. Crispin Glover. Whatever happened to him? Tell you, man. I love part 2. Me too, Nos. I thought you'd like that. I thought you'd appreciate it because it is pretty dark, isn't it? It's dark. It's deadly. It's awesome. Where are we? Just going to waffle on a bit more. We'll see if Zaxx joins me. I watched last night, and this is the first time I've seen it. I watched one of the Steve Jobs movies, the one that's directed by Danny Boyle. Have you seen it? What did you think? It was very talky, but I got caught up in the drama. I don't know how based on truth, on the facts it is, but it's mainly, it focuses on is it three or four main events in his life: the launch of the Macintosh, the launch of Next, and then the launch of, the iMac. It doesn't go as far as the iPhone, does it, or the iPod? But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was well acted. I tell you what, I didn't recognise Kate Winslet was in that. Kate Winslet's like, no way, she looks so different. The character she was playing was, I think it was one of his assistants, maybe his main personal assistant, who had Eastern European heritage or something. But yeah, didn't recognise her. She was really good. Where are we? You know what? I think Buford's going to jail, says Twain. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm lost. I'm miles away. Is that a Back to the Future reference? Oh, goodness. Fulfill your density, Zaxx. But yeah, it was pretty good, Steve Jobs. But man, he must have been a bit of a nightmare, was he, in real life? I mean, and they don't shy away from portraying that. He was, I suppose to get where he got, he had to be that kind of personality. Yeah, it was a good performance by the guy who I'm forgetting his name. He was pretty good. Oh, was that Back to the Future 3? Ah, okay. Buford's going to jail. Netta, I haven't seen the Ashton Kutcher one. I haven't seen that one. I don't know if it's good. It was Jesus, what is his name? I'm going to have to look it up now. Here we go. Bear with me. Steve Jobs, the 2015 version. Movie, 2015. Michael Fassbender. Come on, Gray. Should have got that. Yeah, Michael Fassbender plays Steve Jobs. Kate Winslet is Joanna Hoffman. She was brilliant. Seth Rogen's in it as Steve Wozniak. And Jeff Daniels was good. He's old now, but he was good as John Scully. Yeah, it was decent. I enjoyed that. Cowboy Biff. Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah. Man, it's been a while. It's my least favourite of the three, but it's nice that it kind of wraps things up, doesn't it? It ties the story up. And as far as I know, they shot 2 and 3 together, didn't they? They did a Lord of the Rings but for the second and third part, not for all three. Do you think it should have stayed as a one and done, Back to the Future? Because it works, doesn't it, as a classic, with the open ending, I guess. But Nosferatu is saying that Ashton Kutcher's best movie was The Butterfly Effect. The Butterfly Effect. Where are we? Okay, Zaxx, if you're still there, the link's in. I've DM'd you the link. There we go. But it's on X. That movie is crazy, yeah, Nos. I've not seen it in years, The Butterfly Effect. Is it worth a rewatch? By the sound of it, Nosferatu says yes. Three times the charm, says Dwayne. Steve Jobs' biography by Walter Isaacson shows us how much Steve Jobs stole his team's ideas and made them his own, like a maniac. Okay. Haven't read that, but yeah, he was, he was very good at manipulating people, very good at self-promotion, of course, but, where are we? Speaking of self-promotion, Zaxx, are you in the back room? I think you are, aren't you? Shall I bring you in? Are you ready? Here we go.
Hey.
How are you, man? Have you enjoyed me crazy waffle? I've actually gone on for an hour. Can't believe it.
I did. It was a good waffle. Very good. Lots of syrup. Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
For your waffle, Gray.
I'm all about the syrup, aren't I?
When you said Excalibur, you had me. Like you bring up Excalibur, Gray, and it's gonna bring me under your stream. It summons me.
Here we go.
So such a great movie.
I should have dropped that, Zaxx, before I brought you in, shouldn't I? I should have dropped that, and then you would have come out of the mist.
Dun,
like
dun, dun. Yeah, exactly. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. It's been a weird week. Weird. Have you had any weird things with YouTube lately? Anything new there?
Weird with YouTube. Nothing really new. No, I don't think so.
Same old story.
Not like what you've had where you upload a video that you didn't upload. That has not happened to me. Although I would claim
really
that.
strange.
Yeah.
They got back
it's to me.
They've actually got back to me and they said, by the way, YouTube cannot do that. It cannot upload. I was like, come on. I didn't reply that. I was like, come on, really? But it said they can't upload to other people, to users' accounts.
They can do whatever they want. Come on, YouTube.
Look at that Canadian
all
Judge
powerful.
Holden. Zaxx, look at this Canadian Judge Holden with his sick Johnny Cash shirt.
Judge Holden? I don't know what that is. But
Nosferatu's actually 75 years old. He's, all these references go beyond me. So yeah, did you see Steve Jobs? Have you seen either of those movies, Zaxx?
Like I saw the one with Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, that's what I watched last night.
But it was a long time. Like, it was not memorable. Like, I watched it, but I don't really like. Steve Jobs was an asshole. I get it. He stole some shit, invented some shit. Yeah, I don't remember much of. Probably wasn't paying attention. Probably watching it on my phone or something like that. But
yeah, it's one of those. It was very talky. It was very talky, but it was pretty well performed. I did get caught up in the performances. He was good in the part. Kate Winslet was awesome, and I didn't even recognize it was her.
I like Danny Boyle quite a bit, like his other movies.
Yeah.
Sunshine was his. He did 28 days or 28 weeks later, didn't he? One of those two?
He did both. The first one was 28
Okay.
days later, yeah, and then he did a weeks later one a few years after. Yeah, very good. Good zombie movies. Sunshine's good as well. I think it's a neglected gem, a sci-fi gem.
I agree. No one talks about that one. It just kind of under the radar. Maybe was it a lack of star power or advertising? I don't know, but I saw it in the theater and I thought it was great.
Yeah, okay. In the theatre, that's cool. Shout out to Jacob and Blair's got a dash. Thanks for watching, mate. I appreciate it.
Good night, Blair.
Have a good night. What was going to ask you, Zaxx? Yeah, it's Steve Jobs, but that what do you think of that poem that I was talking about? Have you heard of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight at all?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's famous, isn't it?
I did a paper in university about Lamort Arthur, the collected stories. Yeah,
Look at you.
Yeah. So I had to read it, and I took that on thinking, like, this is going to be so cool to write about this because it's like a great story. But like having to write a paper about something is not the same as just enjoying it to read it. It was
right.
It's how they teach you to hate stuff is when they make you write a paper about it.
When you study
Holy
it, yeah.
shit.
When you serious, oh no, I've got to write a paper on it. How do you write it? Like, Middle English as well. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I had to write. It was like 30 pages or whatever I had to write, but and that was like when pages were like, I mean, pages, and I had a computer, so that was okay. It wasn't as bad, but yeah, if I didn't remember having to handwrite shit.
Yes, of course.
like a peasant.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? I think you still do handwriting exams, don't you? As far as I know, tests. You still have to handwrite exams. Yeah, that's about it now.
But we're out of shape. Our handwriting muscles are out of shape, so you get tired. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah. Danny Boyle did Slumdog Millionaire too, which was
he did
completely accurate. The Indian people love that film, and they say that represents their culture perfectly. Something like that. They say something close to that.
I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic in the comments or not. If you meant it, is it really meant to be a decent portrayal? I don't know. It's a great movie. It's very well made, isn't it? And very well performed.
Yeah, it is. And that's the kid that's in Green Knight, I think. Same kid. I mean, I could be racist. It's possible that they're different people.
Shout out to Awesome One. Great to see you. This is not a cooking show, I'm afraid. It's a Wakizashi waffle. I've been waffling for an hour. And and now finally I've got Zaxx to save me, to bring in some sanity to the stream.
You don't need any saving, Gray. But yeah, YouTube stuff, I don't know. Not really. Like, I can finally reapply for monetization on my main channel Monday, I think. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm deleting tons of shit right now.
What about your second channel? Do you still need more? Is it watch hours? Because you got enough subs, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm only like halfway there. So
okay.
But I'll keep grinding it out.
Did they drop the limit? I can't remember.
Yeah, to 3,000. I'm at like
just by
1,500 and something. So
that took me the longest to get the watch hour. Sorry, no, it took me longest to get the subs when it used to be 1,000. It took me a year and a half.
I had tons of I have like 84,000 watch hours, but they're all shorts hours, so they don't count. So I deleted all my shorts already. So they're gone now too, but it's I could have applied it as a shorts channel, but I don't want to be a shorts channel, and my shorts are all fucking copyright anyway, so that would not work. They would just say no. So, and it doesn't really monetization doesn't really isn't the end of the world or anything like that, but it's kind of annoying when they like just kick you out of the club and say like, we don't want you here, and give you a vague reason why not. So now I'm trying to get back into the no Zaxx's club.
Unless you're making, tens and thousands of views, unless you're getting those, you don't get much from the ad revenue, Zaxx. But it's like it's a way people can support you with the memberships, isn't it? If you just do like a low level membership, and I think it's great that, because super chats only happens to the big channels these days, isn't it? Really,
pretty much. Yeah, it seems that way.
But memberships is awesome. I love the support from the memberships. It's just like, someone basically it's a version of Patreon, isn't it? Where people are saying, okay, I like what you're doing, here's a little bit to help, and it's massive support.
I think it's past the point. I was talking to Pops about this. Like, it's past the point where people really expect anything from you unless you're at like a higher level membership or you're charging a ton of if you're charging like $20 a month or whatever, people are going to probably expect something like in terms of benefits, but really like, it's just to support somebody and to show your support, and so people can see you're supporting. That's kind of all it is.
That's what I thought about the Pops thing. I meant to drop a comment. I've been kind of lazy. I've been busy, but I meant to say, look, Pops, I'm a member because I want to support you. I don't care about anything, here's an exclusive video or here's a member stream. I can't make them anyway, but I don't care about that. It's a support thing.
That's right. And then they know they're going to have that support every month. They don't have to worry about dancing for change. Although I would dance for change.
Me too. I'll sing for my supper as well, especially when I'm drunk, as you know. Nosferatu, he's trying to fire shots at me here. Nosferatu the Vampire, the movie, 1979, better than with Nell and Zaxx.
Wow. I don't know. Jacob Ironside's talking about Hunter J getting sucked back into the mother box.
Oh, really? I think it's time for a clip. Here we go.
You're drunk. Just bring out the cakes. Cake and fine wine.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
Miss Blenner has it. Telephone the police.
You know what? We should watch that movie, Gray.
I can't get a copy. I don't have access to it. It's weird. I'll have to do it on a pirate site or something, won't we? We should do a watch party.
We
it's
would
not on
never
any of
do
my
that.
streaming sites in Japan. It's crazy.
We would never do that, though. Piracy
Oh,
is
no,
wrong.
of course you wouldn't.
No.
We're
Support.
talking about One Piece, aren't we, Zaxx? That's what I meant by pirate. Haha,
Dude,
One Piece.
You got me to watch. You turned me onto that show, Gray, and I thought it was great.
It's fun, isn't it? I'm not saying it's amazing,
Yeah.
but it was fun. It's well done. It's made with heart. It feels sincere. That's what I liked about it.
Every single time when I thought, okay, well, they're gonna really screw this up now, because that's kind of how entertainment's been going, where it gets to a certain point and then it's like, okay, now it goes over the edge too far. They're gonna have now maybe a girl boss the entire time, and she's gonna be right, everyone else is wrong, and they just didn't do it. Like, they just told a relatively straightforward story about, this crew coming together, and I mean, Luffy is the glue, clearly, but she sort of is the one that actually sets them into action by asking for help.
Yeah.
I love that part of that episode. Was fantastic. She was really good too, the actress in that.
I wasn't sure at first.
I wasn't
even
either.
with all of them. They all warmed on me, like, or what's the word? I think they got better as it went on. I wasn't sure about Luffy. Wasn't sure about her. She was, everyone's kind of very, what do you call it, straight-faced to begin with. But I haven't finished it, Zaxx. I'm only up to episode. I'm halfway through 5. It just gets better every episode. It gets better and better, I think, as it goes on.
I think it hits it like 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, really?
Seven was my favorite, but like that's where it really picked up, and I like that we got time to see everyone's backstory, but and how it was kind of staggered along. They did a lot of flashbacks, which I guess people say is a cheap trick, but it worked. It was fine. The kid actors were not fantastic, but yeah, I thought it was just well done. Like, and it's so nice. So it's a low bar now compared to what else we've been watching. Like, from watching Ahsoka, which is fucking.
It's so bad. It's so slow as well. It's so boring.
It's boring. It's bad, and it's dumb. And they could have easily made it better with a few minor changes. And the whole, it's a Dave Filoni thing where, I'm sorry if you see this, Flaccid. I know you love Dave Filoni.
Does he?
God, he does. Yeah, he sucks him off all the time.
No, he's not watching anymore. He only pops in for a minute just to get my love.
That's all he wants. Yeah, it was. The Witches. Are you watching it?
The last one I saw was when Ahsoka got knocked into the sea.
Oh yeah, she's fine.
That was because Ray Stevenson was great in that episode. That's all I watched it for. I watched it for him, and then I've not bothered after that.
He's the best part of the show, but she arose after falling from heights as Ahsoka the White, Gray.
Oh, is she? She's Ahsoka the White now.
She
not the
no, she
grey.
really is. She really is Ahsoka the White now.
Is she going white? Is she white facing?
White. Well, it does seem whiter in the face.
She's
So
wearing.
she's probably a better person for that, but she's also wearing the white robes, and somehow she got changed.
Wow, or someone saying they'd have to watch the whole anime, all 1,040 or 50 episodes, is it, and still going, before watching the live action. Mad.
Yeah, so Nos, yeah, he does fucking simp for Filoni constantly, and it's embarrassing. And yeah, I get it. When you were a kid when Clone Wars was on, you loved that, but this is like, he still writes like he's writing a cartoon. It's not a cartoon. People are trying to follow this story, and none of it makes any sense, and it's ridiculous. And the witches part, it's just, they've added all these things like these flying space whales and these witches that we don't need in Star Wars at all. You're wasting all this, and you got fucking Ray Stevenson in his last performance, probably. I think I know he was filming something else. I'm not sure where that's at, but he's great in this, for what he's given, which is not a lot of great dialogue this last episode, but he's the one I want to watch him.
Yeah.
And I would watch a show with just him and Hottie, his apprentice. Like, I want a show with just them. And because her point of view is way more interesting than anyone else's. And
Do you like her? Do you like the apprentice Sith? The lady.
She's not great, but I like her
She
better.
doesn't say much. I wanted to talk
No.
more. She's got a kind of sexy accent.
She's a perfect woman, though, doesn't talk very much. So I like her for that. But she really she was better this last episode, I felt. And I could see them, like, I when they're on the screen, I pay attention. And when they're not, I don't. It's, I'm on my phone, I'm deleting videos on my YouTube channel or whatever. And I'm kind of just watching it so we can talk about it. But, like, there's some really big misses. Like, Thrawn, did you read the Heir to the Empire books or the comics?
Yes, I have. I've read the trilogy, the actual books. Listened to the audio as well. They're really good. There's good audio performances.
Those are
of them.
so good. And you know what Thrawn is about.
Yeah. I just saw photos. I've not watched episodes. I saw some pictures of him and was like, wait a minute, is that meant to be Thrawn? No.
It is.
Come on.
It's so stupid. The casting is awful, and even his costume is bad. Like, in a world where it's Disney, so everyone's costume is too clean. His is frumpy for some reason. It's the one that they tried to age up, and he's got the, like, grandpa bod. Really, is what he has. It goes beyond dad bod. You could say Ray Stevenson has dad bod, but the Thrawn is just this old, fat, hunchback man with, like, no presence, no chin.
Oh no, he's got no presence really. As I say, I've only seen photos. It might be better in live action. It might be better.
It's worse. It's worse, Gray. He has these, like, they're called night troopers. They're stormtroopers that are gay or something. But
I saw something like a weird like mask or something on one of the stormtroopers. Is that right?
Yeah, you know who that is?
What's that all about? No,
that's Amos from The Expanse. They cast him. They put a mask on him.
What? Insane!
Yeah, it's West Chatham. I mean, could you buy more with this stuff?
He's got a pot belly, says Jacob. The Thrawn, yeah, he's got a pot belly, has he?
Yeah,
a beer belly. Like, I'm developing one, Zaxx. Gotta be careful.
And every single, like, they choose to shoot him from, like, the least, like, flattering angles on a guy who's, doesn't have lots of great angles to choose from. No, everything's a side shot.
That is crazy.
You got to, like. And when we see it for the first time, there's a very cool scene where the Chimera, his Star Destroyer, we see it, and it's a cool visual. I like how they did that. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this could be okay. He comes out surrounded by his night troopers, and they start chanting, Thrawn, Thrawn, Thrawn. It's like, oh my, how cringy is this going to be? And
did he start dancing?
No, just chanting his name, like you do when people walk by, I suppose. I mean, I don't think military is like that, but there's lots of stuff you could have him do or have them do, even just like thumping their chest or stomping or something, like in unison to make it more interesting. But you don't chant the guy's name.
Jacob's saying he sounds like he's had dental work and the numbing hasn't worn off yet. So does he talk a bit like that?
It's Fat Thrawn, and there's so many cool artist versions of him. And here, hold on, I'm gonna try to find one here. But like, he looks like he's a Chad. He's the alter Chad because
he's a Chad.
He had to be a Chad because the Empire hated non-humans, and so for him to be this good, he had to be the best, which is why he was so feared when he did come back in the books, right? Like he was the man. He was a nice sort of balance to Vader in their approach to things. And then this guy is just like this.
I haven't seen the Clone Wars version or the Rebels version, Zaxx, is it? I'm not sure. I haven't seen the animated version, but I have the image in my head and, the covers from the books, the Heir to the Empire books, like really cool, badass character. You know, it doesn't mean he's not ripped or anything. He's just dangerous. He's got presence. He's like Grand Moff Tarkin, but not as old. That kind of awesome presence. Evil, well, not evil. What's the word? He's very clever. He's wise. He's intelligent. He's smart. He's dangerous as hell.
Yeah, he's terrifying, and he'd practice sparring like with his he was always wanted to be one of the best at everything.
Okay.
He could not be vulnerable. That was his thing because he couldn't risk it because he's like that's why he even had that anti-Jedi pet. Like he had all of his bases covered so that he could defend himself if he had to, because he didn't know who he could count on. And now we get fat old man.
Why was he so hard to find? Is he in some like distant galaxy or something, or what was that all about?
He's in a distant galaxy, but I think what they're trying to say is that because of the space whales help them learn what's the safest hyperspace path to take.
No, you're saying this with a straight face, Zaxx, right? You are joking. The space
no, the space whales. That's how they learned the proper jump routes were from watching the space whales. And so, apparently, so back in the day, that's how they learned. And so, but because they go there to die or whatever, this is their graveyard, and he was stuck on that planet or that area. I guess he couldn't jump on a whale and fly home. And so, because it's a dangerous route or something.
Ride that whale, ride it all the way home.
It's so stupid. And so he's stuck there, and they didn't really explain it at all. But like that's how people have explained around it, why he's still there, why he needed these witches. There's witches everywhere.
No idea why the witches came into it. I don't know if that's from the extended universe, the old stuff, or what. Like,
I think it's from Rebels. I don't know.
Nosferatu say they ripped off the Star Trek movie, The Voyage Home. That's a classic one with the whales. Damn space whales, Jacob.
Yes, damn space whales.
Damn space whales.
Fat Thrawn is everywhere.
Oh God, what a mess.
Thrawn, he's fat.
Is it episode 4 or 5? It's up to. It's almost finished, hasn't it? They don't bring him in till now.
I think it's 6.
Oh my God, is it up to 6 already?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Thrawn. I don't know, man.
I'm impressed you're watching it, Zaxx. I know you say you've got it on the background kind of thing, just to keep up with the conversation. But I've watched a few streams, people talking about it, but just like, I don't know. I was interested to see Hayden. That's why I watched that one with Ray Stevenson, a really good episode where we see Hayden meet Ahsoka, don't we? Anakin. But he looked weird. His face was kind of like, really weird. And they have a bit of a fight.
Here you go.
Oh, you got it. You've got something to share. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is... Here we go. Just let me share this. Good night, Jacob. Take care, man. He's fat.
He's fat.
His face looks all wrong. It's not just the body size, whatever, but what's wrong with the face? The makeup or something. It's just all off.
Oh, they CGI'd him blue. That's what it is. It's not makeup. It's not makeup. It's CGI.
Microsoft Paint. Insert. Just blue face him.
They blue faced him in post. Not joking. That's what it is.
Why isn't it like makeup? I don't get that. That's crazy.
Yep.
And his hair looks wrong. His hair looks weird. He's probably like, I don't know. That's a fake hair piece or something.
Like, so this is my Thrawn.
It's blue Elon Musk, says Nos. Yes, that's the Thrawn I was thinking about. That's awesome.
That's he's intimidating. This old man is not intimidating, and I think it's because he's the voice actor for Rebels that they did this.
Oh, okay.
But everything about him is he's Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, no way. I didn't even know he had a brother, or he was
who
an actor.
got the good genes in that trade-off.
Ooh. Shots fired with Zaxx.
I could see Mads Mikkelsen play this role, though. He's much better than this guy.
Copa's thinking about Thrawn's blue balls.
Get in there, Copa. Help him out.
Oh God.
He's one of my favorite characters from those books, the expanded universe books. And like look at this guy. That's Thrawn.
That's more like it. Look at that.
Not this.
What a great image. That's awful. That's just terrible.
Yeah. Always plotting, always planning ahead. That he's, I don't know. He was a great villain, but very he had his own code too, which I liked about him. And yeah, we get fat Thor, we get fat Thrawn. Everyone's fat. We got Ezra too. And they screwed that up because they had them she broke all the rules to come and try to save her friend Ezra, which I don't know. I didn't watch Rebels. It's pretty stupid. So But their reunion is like, because she's a chick and she's got to be a strong female character, they can't have her like be too excited to see him. And so they do sarcastic snark instead when they finally are reunited.
Yeah.
And then eventually they hug, but it's like they're both trying to be Han Solo. You can't both be arms crossed, quipping it, like, and all this stuff between there was also bad, but people were like, "Oh, our big reunion." And they're of course crying because reactors are fucking losers about seeing these two together again, but they don't, like, there's no emotion there. There's no excitement. And she basically he sacrificed himself to get rid of Thrawn. And so by her going to get him, he's now in a situation where like Thrawn is now back. And so she voided what he did. And do you think that came up? No.
God knows. No idea.
No. And Ahsoka is like, Rosario Dawson is sleepwalking through this.
She's sleepwalking the role that I saw. Yeah, that cover there, that kind of thing. You know, just look at that. It's so much better. Mm-hmm. That's only a close-up of his face, an artist rendition. Weird, Zaxx. Wonder why. Why did they blow it?
They don't know how not to. And they hire these... Well, like Dave Filoni is a writer. He's probably never experienced anything. He's never created anything cool on his own. So he's even talking to people about... Because someone asked him about bringing back Mara Jade. And he better not do that. But he's like, I just gave you Thrawn, so you enjoy that for a while. Don't come asking me for Mara Jade. You didn't give us Thrawn or Mara Jade. Those are not your characters. You didn't create them. I know you stole them, but you're not giving us anything. You created Ahsoka. That's your big claim to fame. And people liked your cartoons for kids. So, but this isn't... whoever is working with him, like, can't counter him. So he's like...
Nos is saying, Zaxx, Nos is the guy, the actor, he's like a discarded Baldwin brother, but Nordic, for a start. Also, Rosetta Stone Dawson's Creek would be better than this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Dempsey, I'm telling you, Thrawn is data from the next generation, but using a Snapchat filter.
He does look a bit like old Data. Yep. Yeah, so that's... And compare that to One Piece, which is, you know, another adaptation. This time, the original creator is involved.
Yeah.
You know, George Lucas and Timothy Zahn are not. So this is what you get. It's like discount made by Chinese children, you know, in a factory kind of style storytelling we're getting.
Do you think the reaction to One Piece, because it's been pretty much rising, you know, and even the so-called bigger channels are all over at the moment saying it's so good. Do you think it's being made out to be better than it actually is? Because, like you're saying, the comparative, you know, series or shows at the moment are so poor, especially for sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes, I do. I think that it's comparatively it's so much better. It's refreshing that you just the characters are all enjoyable. We don't and the story is fun. And that's it. They don't... people who've watched the anime or read the manga say it's not even close in quality. And that's probably true. But what they did show us is... was it just a fun 8-episode adventure and a good origin story? Yeah, he is an SJW. And he's not the savior of anything. He's a male feminist, too, which is just... That's creepy. And his gimmick is a cowboy hat.
Do you reckon Flaccid wears the same hat? I'm sure he does, doesn't he?
He does. He wears it all the time. That's why he can't come. He won't come on camera because he won't take the hat off.
Yeah, he's like glued it on years ago, you know, and the cowboy boots too.
He knows we'll find out.
Zaxx Nos is having a go at me because I'm sober. Sober Grey's almost as bad as sober Tim. How could you? How could you say that to me? I know you're only messing. I was going to say, Zaxx, is it Emily Rudd? She plays Nami, yeah? I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard she's a huge fan. I don't know if it's just One Piece, but of anime in general, you know, so she really respects the material, the source. There's a great video, I mean, it's promotional from Netflix, but there's a great video of the actor who plays Luffy going to meet Oda-san, and, you know, and saying how good it is. I've heard that Oda-san is involved, that's why he wouldn't let it be, ruined, thank God. So, but it just feels like the people in it want to be in the show. They're doing the best. There's a story about one of the guys who comes into it later. Is it Sanji? I don't know if it's Sanji. The chef. The actor who plays him apparently got quite a bit of stick. Say when he was cast, he doesn't look like him. It's not sure, but he supposedly worked so hard on his performance and to get like kung fu skills or whatever, as well as cooking skills. Try and convince people. And now he's won them over. I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard.
Well, he apparently was already a black belt in something.
Oh, wow.
Like he was already So and he's a chef, a cook. So he cooks for the crew. So he took on that role of he is that character now. With that crew, like he's actually acting out the part in real life. That's kind of the story there. And Oda saved it he stopped a bunch of stuff, but one of the big things is they wanted to do, or they had written a romance, of course, with the crew.
Okay.
With Zoro and Nami, we're gonna hook up or whatever.
Oh.
And he said, no, you're not doing that. No, there will be no
Good
crew romance because he didn't write it, and they're a family, is his idea. The crew is a family. They're not going to start fucking each other.
That always ruins everything, doesn't it? It's like don't bring sex into it or whatever. It's just going to go peak tongue. It's all going to go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zoro is Sonny Chiba's kid. Yeah,
that's right. He's got a really weird, interesting name, isn't it? It's like not McDonald's, but it's something like that. Makakeen or Makien. But he's cool. I saw an early video of him training, just like doing martial arts training. He's good. You can tell he can do the stuff, and he looks at Zaxx when you see his arms and stuff. He's not, massively muscular, but he's ripped. He's showing. You can tell the guy can perform. The guy can swing a sword. He can fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks fit. He looks like he's you don't need to be enormous to be good with a sword.
No.
And even bringing the way they explained the third sword, which was just over the top dumb at first. Why does he have a sword in his mouth? But they made they made it kind of cool because of who it's connected to and that whole backstory that they gave us. I can't.
That was really good. I enjoyed that backstory. Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that could normally turn people off, I think, if you're flipping it on. Why does this guy have a sword in his mouth?
Well, that's totally manga, isn't it? Manga madness or even anime craziness. It's like, come on, it's something you couldn't do, but it probably looks awesome. It's like, what a great visual image. But in real life, practically, it's crazy. But yeah, I thought they did it pretty well. They explained it pretty well.
Yeah, it's all been done well, I think.
God bless you, Copa. Makenyu. There we go.
Makenyu.
Look at his big sword. Grey, 2023. What I was going to say, Zaxx, what's the Japanese? There's a Japanese martial arts series, movies called. Is it something Kenshin? And he's in that, Makenyu. He's in I think the latest one. Let me have a look for that on Google.
People. Who was complaining? The She-Hulk actress. What's her nuts? Tatiana Maslany was complaining that Sonny Chiba's kid, whatever, he should have a full name of his own, but he's getting paid more than she got for She-Hulk, and she's pissed off about it.
Really?
And, yeah.
He's pissed off because he's getting more money than her.
Yeah. Because it's sexist, right? That this one dude is getting more money than her.
What's she got to do with One Piece?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Nothing to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Really.
This is hard to say, Zaxx. It's pronounced Rurouni Kenshin. There's a series of them. They're like martial arts movies which are set in the past as well. It's supposed to be really good, and as far as I know, they're all on Netflix.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Copa got it.
Oh, has Copa got it? Copa.
Or somebody
I'm not looking at the chat at the moment, so nice one. Let's just paste that.
But Copa was first. Copa beating us to the punch. Doesn't happen much.
Look at Copa with the knowledge. Fantastic. He keeps saying he's a film expert or something. I don't believe in those acts. Not for a minute. How about you?
I don't know. Yeah. So Taz Skylar, that's the actor who's Sanji. But I want to see because he has a black belt. I want to know what it's in. I need to know.
Black belt in cooking.
He's a good-looking dude, though. With
joking.
Head shape,
Wait a minute, it's not. Yes, they have made live action, mate. There's a series of them. They're supposed to be good. He knows it. Running Kenshin. He got paid because he's a dude. So,
Yeah,
dot, dot,
that's
dot,
right.
Cobra.
That's all it was. Because he's an actual legitimate star there. Apparently, you're in your own backyard, Gray.
I know. I didn't even know him. You know what I mean? Of course, I heard of Sonny Chiba, and even before Tarantino, Sonny Chiba movies when I was a kid. If I could try and get to see some of those, they were great. The anime is fantastic. You both should watch it. No way. Thanks. I didn't know it was an anime first. I should have known it probably was. Okay. Awesome one too, saying Kenshin is good. Do you remember my old moving picture house? The intro had a little bit of a sword. Yeah. That scene, that's from I think that's from the first one. The can't even say it. Ruronin Kenshin.
I can't. I'm not going to try to say it.
Try and say that. The Japanese, the R's, they always kill me, Zaxx. I can never get them out right. Turning Japanese, I think. Can't roll me R's. I don't know if you can. I'm jealous of anybody who can.
Ooh.
Where are we? I will jump kick out in the chest.
He's a black belt in Taekwondo. That's like just slightly better than karate, but not much.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, anyone can get a black belt in Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. Does Zaxx get? What's this? Does Zaxx get paid more than Flaccid?
I don't get paid at all, so no. No, I should though.
I know.
He should pay me.
Zaxx, by the way, the check's in the mail. I know I keep saying that every week when you come on the show.
Thanks.
The check is in the mail, mate.
Thanks, Gray.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll wrap things up soon because I know it's late. Before we do that, anything you want to recommend? Before I know you stream, not talking about your YouTube channel. What have you seen recently apart from One Piece that you want to shout out? Something good.
I'm always recommending a show called The Bear, which is not about a bear or a hairy gay dude. It's an FX series, and it feels like. Did you ever watch Shameless, either the Brit version or the American version?
Yes, I've watched half of both of the series, both of the British and the American. I like them both. It's
got the actor who plays Lip, and it's set in the south side of Chicago in a diner that he takes over, and it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's like a easy watch. The episodes are pretty short, but it does a great job with these building these characters. He is like this. His character is he's a very famous, become a very famous chef. He's like one of the best top 50 under 50 like performers. He's working in a Michelin star restaurant, I guess the best rated restaurant in the world, and he leaves that to go take over a diner that his brother had owned, and his brother offed himself and left him the diner, and so now he's taking that over. Yeah, and so it's got John Bernthal's in it too, and just a good overall cast, simple story, good characters. I like that one. I watched one called Jury Duty too, which was I'd never heard of, but it's like a real life Truman Show. There's just one guy.
Okay. It's
a reality show, and with the jury, this one guy thinks he's part of a documentary on serving juries, and everyone else in it is an actor. And so the first 3 episodes are actually really good. They're pretty funny. It kind of they draw out the premise a bit longer than it really could carry, but the first few were pretty good.
Zaxx is explaining a shitty version of Midnight Diner, says Nos. Watch Midnight Diner. We'll get him there, Nos, one day. Or maybe that should just be our thing, Nosradu.
It's not about the Bears skit, no, but I mean it's in Chicago. So
okay, this one. Okay, I know the actor now. Yeah, nice one. I know who you mean. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've heard nothing about it, but we don't have FX in Japan, the channel.
No, we don't either. It's on Disney Channel here, Disney Plus.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh God, I'm not subscribing to Disney. No. Yeah,
I get it's free, so
sounds good. And look at that food. Wow. Ooh, look at that. Mm-hmm. That looks delicious, Zaxx.
I don't know anything about the food world, period. So a lot of that stuff just kind of goes over my head. But they really do a good job of how they shoot everything, and yeah, it's kind of a hidden gem, I think.
Cool.
And Jury Duty had the guy who played Cyclops in it. What's his name?
James something or other.
Marsden. James Marsden. He's in it as himself, and he's stuck on jury duty with all these people, and he tries to get out of it. And it's like that's kind of his story. He doesn't want to be there, and because he's a big star, And so he plays himself, and it's pretty convincing. Like the first few episodes are pretty good. It's kind of fun.
Chori Chuchi.
Yeah.
Again, I'm amazed you have time to. Oh yeah, I recognize the face again there. To watch all these things, Zaxx. I'm so jealous. When are you going to get a real job, Zaxx? Come on.
Yeah, the one guy is everyone else is an actor, and everything else is they show how they're staging it all and how complex it is, because it's an actual courthouse, and they have two courtrooms. One is the one they're using for this case, and the other is where they have all the crew and everything behind the scenes, and it's fun. I would say give it a bit of a watch.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
I started watching after seeing the Steve Jobs and being impressed by Kate Winslet, Zaxx. I started watching. Is it Mayor of not Freetown, Mayor of something town? She's done I think it's like a American-based cop or detective series. It's got good write-ups, but I don't know. It was a bit slow. Maybe I need to give it a bit of time. And I did start watching it late at night. Never a good idea. But yeah, let me just double check what that's called. Kate Winslet. I didn't know she was younger than me, Zaxx. I had a bit of a
really?
Cry last night when I found out. It's like she's 47. It's like shit, she's younger than me. Oh man.
She kind of looks like she's enjoyed herself.
She's like aging naturally though. She's not messing about
Yeah, I like that.
Nicole Kidman and stuff. They do make her look a little bit more rough in this. What's a good poster? Mayor of Easttown. HBO Max. What's that?
Awesome one. Mayor of Kidstown. Yeah. No.
Awesome one. What are you doing? Yeah.
And it's good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I need to say, I need to give it a try. I'm not sure. I thought it was a bit slow moving, and it seemed a bit formulaic. And I've got one more to recommend, Zaxx. Have you ever seen any of the Happy Valley series? There's been 3 made so far.
No.
It's a UK set female cop drama.
Oh god.
Set in like the north of England, like not far from where I'm from. It's beautiful setting. It's the actress. And yeah, it's pretty good. Again, formulaic, but it's not woke. It's not over the top. It's good. Everyone's flawed. It's a bit depressing at times, because it's British.
And there's 3 series of it, you said?
There's 3 seasons. I think they're on Amazon. Well, they used to be on Amazon Prime.
Is it just lesbians?
No, it's surprisingly not.
Come on, Gray.
Come on, man. Would I be watching a lesbian drama?
A female cop with short hair. That's a lesbian.
So season 3, I think, just dropped recently after quite a few years of a break. It was a BBC drama, and yeah, it was a really big hit. She's an actress from Coronation Street. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's one of the biggest, the more famous soap operas in the UK.
It's on
That's
here.
set in Manchester, mate, by the way. Manchester. Shout out to Manchester.
People love that shit. Coronation Street.
Does she arrest special needs kids? I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched the first 2 seasons or so, but there's a weird... this guy's good in it, his actor. Kind of keeps coming back into it. It's, the villain of the series, possibly. Yeah.
Welcome to Wrexham is also fun, and it's back now for season 2.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I've not started watching the new season. I've been following the club as well, Zaxx, since getting into that series. I'm actually following them on the... You can get the match highlights on YouTube for free.
It's fun. It's a fun show, and I've been following the team a little bit too. But then at the same time, I don't want to have it spoiled. But it's too late. Season 2's already spoiled for me because I know what happens to them in the league. So this year.
Yes, and me too. It's spoilers already. It's a shame, isn't it? They should have been bringing it out. Well, I suppose they couldn't do it. Could they weekly or something somehow, and trying to keep it close to what was going on? But there's no chance.
But it's cool to see. Like I like the. I mean, there's Ryan Reynolds in it, and that's fun. But it's all the cast of characters who are like on the team or connected to the team are interesting. So.
The people are people at Wrexham as well. The people who keep popping up on it. These are like really interesting characters. They're better written than most shows, aren't they?
They really are. Yeah, and you can't. The first episode was pretty good this season. I think there's 2 more out now. I think they've dropped 3. But yeah, it's fun. And I didn't know anything about Wrexham. Like I've heard of the team, but because they're a very old team, or Wales or anything like that. So it's cool to kind of get a bit of a education about that at the same time. And
absolutely, shout out to Wales.
People.
It doesn't get enough love, does it?
No. And as someone who liked to play like on the soccer management games or like where you're building a team, I love the idea that these guys just come in and just splash cash everywhere and they buy up all these players. That team is so stacked. In like if you compare it to like just they should have.
Oh no.
Like, yeah, it's not fair, but it's fun to see. They brought back a guy who would like he had just played Premier League to play goal for them. Like
Yeah. Is it Ben Foster? Like I
Ben
couldn't
Foster,
believe it.
yeah.
I was like, they signed
Yeah.
him. You know, he was a big name for a while.
he was still wanted, but I think Newcastle wanted him to come back and play for
Okay.
them, and he picked Wrexham. No, thanks, Greg.
Well, Wales go Wales.
Yeah,
I never
space,
know
space
which
Wales
channel to
Wales.
link, Zaxx. I put them both in the description after I've done. You know, when you come on the show, like I always drop both channels now. Which one are you focusing on more at the moment?
Depends what happens with getting the channel back again. But I want to do one channel is going to be where I'm going to put my live streams that I've already aired, and then maybe shorts. Yeah, and then
I meant to ask you about that, Zaxx. Do you think does that make a difference to your channel to do that? Because Copeland was doing it from the start, isn't he?
Yeah, I've heard it does. So I'll put my stuff over there, and then I'll have my Zaxx channel be probably mostly clips and videos, like clip highlights from streams and all that.
Okay,
Good
idea.
Yeah.
A Brit and a Canadian talking soccer.
Yeah.
What level of hell have I been
Soccer.
sent to? It's a good series, though, isn't it? It's partly about football, but as I say, it's about the town, the characters, the community. You know, the people, like because they went through a hard time. That's a hard working class town in Wales. It really is. And what happened to that club was terrible, Zaxx, wasn't it? In the past, you know, it nearly got sold for peanuts for nothing.
They destroyed that team.
Yeah, they did.
For years, it was taken
Previous
advantage of.
owner.
People had come in to save it, and they had no intention of saving it.
Yeah.
So
total.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's a fun. I recommend that one to throw that one on. I think that's FX here.
Welcome to Wrexham. Okay, cool. Actually, I've got a horrible confession to make. I subscribed to Disney Plus for 1 month just to watch the 2 seasons of that because it's only on Disney Plus in Japan. It's like, oh God, I don't know why I did that. I paid Disney money.
I have it for 2 years for free, so
awesome.
You
So
can't avoid it.
before we wrap things up, do you want to shout out your stream coming up? Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night we are on Flaccid Phoenix's Fanarchy channel, and it is
Flaccid Phoenix.
It's roast. It's roast the host. So anyone can come on. The link's going to be in the stream.
Oh,
and
really?
Come on and yeah, see if you can hang. Go toe to toe. Call us out. Confront AJ on all of his sus behavior to his face.
I don't know if I spelled it right, but people know it in the chat. I mean, everyone who's subscribed to us, you know, subscribed to Fanarchy. Flaccid Phoenix is that his second channel, or is that he's just changed the name and everything? He's changed it all.
Second channel, yeah.
Okay, second channel. Nice one. He's doing live streams on that.
Yeah, there's a whole thing because he wants to focus on like fantasy Game of Thrones style stuff on his main channel, and then he's gonna have Fanarchy be more of his live stream stuff. But YouTube is weird right now, I think, with a lot of the stuff that like it's hard to grow. We have to start using things like the rating system, the live redirects, to sort of help each other out with that stuff, I think. But that's inside baseball talk. Yeah, Vegas on
about shorts, Zaxx. Are they still pushing shorts, aren't they? They really want people doing shorts, and I just can't have time. I don't have time.
They say that, but then look what happened with me.
Yeah,
like
there you go. You get
I
killed.
did what you wanted me to do. Yeah, and then they knock you down, and I think it's good that they've added the fan funding for, like, they've lowered the bar for what you need to get at least fan funding, which is good. But then that also does is they have so many other monetized channels, then YouTube can absorb cutting off bigger channels if they want to. They have a bit now. They have a bit more pull because there's more people bringing in money for them.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, I've been having a weird time with YouTube lately, but I'm still doing it. It's mainly for fun, having a good time, you know, getting stuff out there, being ignored mainly by most people. But, you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it, Zaxx? That's the way it goes.
We need to get Mark Millar on here, or Mark Miller. Mark Millar? Miller?
I thought it was just Miller. That's Mark
think you're
Millar is
right.
because of your boy Zaxx. Your boy Zaxx.
I think you're
sorry.
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
we need
He's Scottish. Miller in Scotland. Miller.
Nos, let's do a campaign to get Mark Miller on Gray's show.
I even thought about it, but I'd have to do a huge preparation, and I wouldn't even do it live. I'd record it, get people to send in questions beforehand, things to ask him, and try and, I'd have to do a lot of preparation and just see if he could spare. I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but only a small channel. I've seen him do those acts. I've seen him go on not just big channels. He's been on a couple of small ones.
He seems like a good bloke.
Yeah.
Get him on. He retweets your stuff. He reads your Twitter, so he knows you exist. He knows that you review his stuff, and that you're an honest fan and critic. And yeah, let's do this.
I think it's only why, because I'm reviewing his stuff. The only things that I don't like tagging people, on Twitter. I just don't like doing it, but I only do it for him. It's like, okay, because he will shout it out, and at least it gets seen, even if people don't, watch the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, that's a good. Thanks, Max. Not Max. Thanks, Zaxx. Jesus, Max. Max, are you there? No. Thanks, Zaxx, for the push. I will do it. I will get there one day, but
Let's do it.
1,400 subscribers. Maybe not.
Push it real good.
Push it real good. Okay, should we say good night to everybody out there?
Yeah, good night.
Do tune into Zaxx's channel tomorrow night for see if he can take down the Flaccid Phoenixes, the AJs and Zaxx. It's like a winner takes it all kind of thing going on. I don't know.
George Miller, yeah, I like that idea.
Can you get booted off your own stream? That's the question. Flaccid Phoenix.
You can. Anything's possible on Fenarchy. So I'll see you there.
Okay. Good night. Good health. God bless.